When you're working on a movie set, every single moment counts.
Movie making, in some ways, it's a race against the clock. You only have a certain number of days and a certain amount of money.
Rust is scheduled to be a 21-day shoot.
What does that demand you do? You have to be efficient.
Halyna was so intense and so full of energy and so passionate.
She would get it in her mind how she wanted to look, and we'd work to get her what she wanted.
She had that intensity. Every day you went to work, she would say, "Good morning, how are you? How was your evening?" Boom, it was small talk, go. We weren't gonna hang out and chit-chat or whatever. She knew that the clock was the enemy, and we have to move forward.
I felt like it was a good pace. For the level of the budget that we had, it ran smoother than anything of that budget I've ever been involved with. It really did.
But some crew members said the production felt rushed.
The tone on set was like, we need to go now, now, now. It just was a, beat the clock kind of thing.
I arrived on the 11th. I had dinner with Halyna.
Baldwin posted a video of himself on Instagram shortly after he arrived on set.
I want to say I look at myself in the mirror, my reflection in this, and I'm really kind of appalled. It's appalling. But we're here shooting the film. We start tomorrow, and no, I'm not playing Santa Claus. On the 12th, I had a safety demonstration with Hannah Reed, the armorer. We spent an hour and a half shooting the pistol, her giving me all her safety instructions.
We were told by several members of the crew that Hannah sometimes had the guns in her waistband, or she would carry them underneath her armpits. Now, this is a young woman who was around guns her whole life, but for other members of the crew, this was sort of alarming.
Hannah's lawyer tells ABC it's not unusual for armorers to carry firearms like this to various places on set as they need to. He says there was never a safety issue with Hannah's carrying of the firearms.
Did you think she was up to the job?
I assumed because she was there and she was hired, she was up for the job.
And nothing she did raised any red flags with you?
No.
The second week of filming, some members of the crew said they were starting to have concerns with how weapons were being handled on the set.
Saturday, October 16th was a big day on set. There were several major shootouts scheduled to be filmed that day. And in the midst of that, there were 2 accidental discharges.
The prop master, Sarah Zachary, was loading the gun was pointed down, and it went off in her hands.
It definitely caused a commotion on set. Several people I talked to described it as something that upset people. There was, a sound, and it was unexpected.
There is no projectile in the gun. It's just a bang and some smoke. Sarah did self-report what had happened.
There was another accidental discharge on this Saturday, and Alec Baldwin's stunt double had this misfire with a gun.
When you hear about something like 2 accidental discharges of weapons, guns going off, that's serious business.
The Rust production team told ABC News, the safety of our cast and crew is the top priority of Rust Productions. Rust producers say they never received any official complaints regarding weapons or prop safety on set.
Rust Productions declined to comment specifically on the accidental discharges.
I never saw anything that was, in my mind, unsafe, ever.
I felt safe on the set. Every time I was handling a gun, every time I was on set, I felt safe. I had to have a gun in every scene. I always had it in my holster in every scene, because we're cowboys.
During the second week of filming, that an issue with hotels comes up for the crew because they're pulling what they feel like are some very long days on the set.
They went to the production to talk about this so that after 12-hour days, they didn't have to drive for like dozens and dozens of miles just to get back to somewhere where they could put their head down for just a few hours to then have to get back up again and go right back to work.
My drive to set was 75 miles a day each way, every day. It was never a problem. The work schedule, the ins, the outs, when we would come in the morning, when we left, it was really never a problem. There was nothing about the schedule that was grueling.
The Rust Productions team told ABC News that they're confident that they provided hotels when they were required.
This issue of the hotel rooms became such a divisive issue. On Sunday, the crew's call time was noon. And they were there till 1:30 in the morning. It was dark out, but it was cold, and they were gathering up all their equipment. And one of the camera operators that night, what I was told, spent a few hours sleeping in his car because he felt it was unsafe to drive home. And that's really, I think, when the tensions with the camera crew really started to grow. They show up for a 6 a.m. call time. It was a long, arduous day. That day, one of the camera operators asked for a hotel room that night, and the production said no. And that, what several of the camera operators and assistants and camera crew people told me, was that that's when they felt like these people don't care about us.
Later that night, Lane Looper and some other members of the camera crew, they email production managers their resignation letters. And in Lane's letter, he writes about his concerns regarding their housing. He also lays out some safety concerns, saying, during the filming of gunfights on this job, things are often played very fast and loose. So far, there have been 2 accidental weapons discharges.
It was, close to 9 o'clock when these emails started rolling into the production office that they were going to be without the camera crew.
For a group of crew members to come together and say, we need to, as a group, basically strike this set, it's not that common.
This week, 25 members of Rust cast and crew released a letter that Alec Baldwin posted on his Instagram, which they say was not sanctioned or influenced by the producers. And it stated the descriptions of Rust as a chaotic, dangerous, and exploitive workplace are false. In response to Lane Looper's allegations, the production team from Rust told ABC News that Mr. Looper's allegations around budget and safety are patently false, and they say safety is always the #1 priority in our films. The next morning, their departure would be the beginning of a deeply troubling day on set.
Hi everyone, George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel, and don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.